Hello everybody. So this is my first voiceover video, so bear with me. I'm going to do my best to explain everything that I'm doing in this video with my gorgeous MAC sister Jessica. So if you're interested in watching how I did this look, continue watching. So I started brushing her brows in an upward position, just using a spoolie, and now I just want to fill them in a little bit. I like a very natural brow, so I don't fill them in too much. And then I'm going to use a brow pencil from Beauty Line by Dee. The color is called Browgasm. And then I'm going to highlight underneath her brows using Shape Tape from Tarte in the shades Deep Sand and Tan Deep Sand. I like to mix the two together to give a nice little balance. That way it's not too light and it's not too dark where the brow isn't popped up enough. Also, all product details will be listed below this video, so if there's anything that I have mentioned that you would like to recheck what it was, feel free to just scroll below to get that information. I started applying an eyeshadow base from P. Louise Academy in shade number 5, and I'm blending that in her inner corner all the way out to the outer brow area, or you can say the outer V area, and just want to make sure that that's buffed in. And then I went ahead and used a shadow from the James Charles palette. The color is called 10%, and I'm putting that in her crease area and on her lid, building structure around the eye. And I want a little bit more definition, so I'm going to go ahead and use a darker brown. It's right next to the shadow I mentioned earlier. It's called No Beans, and they're all from the James Charles palette. So it's giving me this really, brown, natural, smoky kind of look. I started cutting her crease, and I tried something new with this look. I normally use a P. Louise base to cut a crease, but I decided to use the Inglot gel liner, and I liked it. The only issue is that it does dry pretty fast, so you have to work fast. And if you have to blend any areas out, that you do that first so it doesn't dry on you. Once it dries, it doesn't go anywhere. So that's an important thing that you need to know working with these gel liners. Details as well will be listed below. If I forget to mention any brushes, forgive me, I will have it listed below. So I'm just making sure that's buffed out before I apply the pigment to it. So I didn't set this at all. I'm just buffing it out, and I picked the gel liner to use instead of the eyeshadow base because I wanted to see if the pigment would stick a lot more to the gel liner and see how vibrant it would be if I tried that out. And it did. It was very pretty, very pigmented. It didn't crease, so it was a risky move, but it worked. And I'm lining her eye with Inglot number 77 black gel liner. I'm not doing a wing. I'm just doing it straight from the inner corner of the eye to the outer V of the eye. I've been doing the lower eye area before foundation now because I find that it's not as messy. No fallout really. You just have to, clean it up once you put the foundation and concealer on. So as you can see here, I am using the same shadows that I used on top of her eye all from the James Charles palette. They will be listed below, and I'm just starting to smoke out her under eye. And you can see I started out with the light shadow, and it's going to work from light to dark, so then I'm darkening it up as I go, and I find it easier to make it smokier from light to dark. So once I finish with the lower lash line, I'm going to go into skin prep. I'm going to start moisturizing her face. It's very important that before we do foundation and concealer and powder that the skin is being treated well and hydrated. Even if the skin is oily, it's still important to hydrate. I started applying Milk of Magnesia in the T-zone of her face, just to hold for longevity of the makeup and to keep her skin matte, so there's no oily or shiny marks. You have to wait for it to dry. So as you can see, I'm trying to speed up the process with this portable fan. Got it from Walmart, and it definitely did the trick to dry it faster. I'm applying a primer from MAC. It's called Mineralized Time Check Lotion. I love this. This is like my personal holy grail for primer. Then I went ahead and used a lip conditioner, and I like to apply that to let the conditioner sit on the lips before I get into doing her lipstick. Alright, now I'm applying her foundation. Currently, I like to use NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop or NYX Total Control Drop Foundation, but this particular session, I believe I used both, but mainly I used Can't Stop Won't Stop and the shade Mocha and Deep Sable. I mixed the two, and I'm using a brush from Bdellium Tools. It's a BD brush, one of my favorites. It's the only brush that I use for my foundation, for my liquid foundation, and I believe the number is 968. I'm using concealer from Tarte. Currently my favorite, even though I do want to try Juvia's Place foundation and concealers. I can't wait to try them out. But for right now, it is Shape Tape from Tarte. The colors are the same as underneath her brow. I use Tan Deep Sand and I use Deep Sand. Tan Deep Sand is this lighter color, and I just apply that in her inner corner of her face. If you notice, I'm using the same foundation brush to blend out her concealer. I find it to be easier to blend and marry everything together, and even tone down slightly the highlight just a little bit. I just find it easier to blend it instead of using a completely different brush. I'm going to contour, and I always use Studio Tech from MAC. Yes, that's a full coverage foundation, but I've been using it for years and just find it to be so creamy and very blendable. So I just love using that to warm up the skin. Now, once everything is blended together, I'm going to start to set my concealer, and I'm using Sacha Buttercup highlighting powder to set the highlighted areas of the face. I'm not big on baking, so I like to just set it And then I will contour the nose as I allow the powder to sit there for a little bit, just a little bit. So once I finish contouring her nose, which is more of a light, soft contour, I'm not big on any harsh lines. I like it to look like shadow. So once I'm finished with the nose, then I'll tap the excess powder away. I'm using lashes from my lash line. It's a new style coming out called Megan, and it's a 25mm lash, but it gives a very nice wispy, like a triple wispy effect to the eyes. For her lips, I'm doing my signature lip combo. I'm using chestnut lip liner with burnt spice liquid matte lipstick from MAC Cosmetics and clear gloss from NYX Cosmetics. The trick is I let the matte lipstick dry to a matte finish before I put the clear gloss on top. And if there was someone of a lighter complexion, I may still use the same brown liner. Sometimes I might change it and do like cork because it's a little lighter brown to give them a more softer look for the lips. But it just depends on the person and what they want. I am applying a little bit more gold pigment in a corner. And I went back a little bit on her brows just to make sure they were completed. Now all I have to do is just spray her face with finishing spray and the look is finished. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you liked it, please thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Leave in the comment box any suggestions on looks that you would like to see me do, so I can add more content to my channel. Again, thank you guys for watching, and until next time.